Now let's do the SEC. Let's put them into tiers, just like the Big Ten. If you want to see individual schedule predictions, I did that on the shorts. Let's just go through the tier list here. Starting off, conference title, I think Texas and Georgia are the two teams that will play in the conference championship. I think they're the two far superior rosters. I think they have the best coaches. I think they have the best coordinators right now in the SEC. And could one of the contenders end up in a conference championship if injuries or, a couple of plays don't go those title contenders or conference title teams' way? Maybe. But I do think they are a solid head and shoulders above of kind of that mucky upper echelon of the SEC. But let's get to the contenders, because that's really the interesting thing. Alabama, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, LSU, Texas A&M. I look at those five teams. I think 2 to 3 of them could make the playoffs pretty easily. I think at least 2 of them, maybe 3, maybe even 4, could make the playoffs, but it's all going to come down to one-score games. You look at the absolute carnage that those 5 teams will do to each other. Everyone loves to talk about the depth of the SEC. I don't think this is the best conference right now in college football, but the depth of those 5 is annoying. It doesn't determine whether you have the best team in college football. The best team cream rises to the top. But what it does do is it makes it so an Oklahoma or an Alabama or a Texas A&M have the potential to be a 9-3 team, beating everybody below them and just getting into some absolute, fist fights. And it will create record inflation for conferences like the Big 12 and the ACC. It just will happen. In terms of the contenders, who do I personally think will survive? Right now, I think it'll be LSU, Ole Miss, and then most likely Oklahoma. I think those would be the 3 teams that are the best in the contenders tier. I think they're going to find ways to win games. LSU has some very important ones at home, kind of same thing with Ole Miss. And Oklahoma is going to absolutely be in a better position because they play Michigan in the non-conference, a Michigan team that I think is certainly worse right now than Oklahoma. Moving on to that sleepers tier. This is really one of my more fun tiers in any of my conferences because Florida, Tennessee, and South Carolina are all teams that on paper, I look at them and I'm like, Florida returns everything at the skill positions and on that defense. And then I look at Aaron Filio as their quarterback, and it's a big-time question. How great is John Summerall going to be? Those are just 2 massive questions. And then the offensive line worries for me also just kind of eats into that. Then I look at Tennessee, and I go, same story. They returned so much. How good is Faison Brandon going to be? I right now have them at 8-4. You can go check the schedule prediction if you want to see individual games. Can you beat Alabama? Can you beat Texas? Can you have quarterback play that makes one more play than the team in the contenders or the team in the conference titles? Can it happen? I think the skill positions are good enough. I think the defense has the chance to be good enough. Would I love to see Chaz Coleman be on that roster? Absolutely. Would you be in contenders if he was on this roster? Absolutely. Because, we'll talk about it in the next team, but I don't know if the front 4 is going to be as elite as some other ones in this conference. Not saying it's not going to be good. Not saying it's not going to be good. It's going to be better than most teams in college football. But is it better than Texas's? Is it better than Georgia's? Is it better than Oklahoma's? Is it better than Alabama's? That's kind of my worry for Tennessee. And then for South Carolina, I've been very open. I love Lenore Sellers. I think he's a top 15 player in draft terms, like how size and how far can you throw a football, essentially. And then Dylan Stewart's a top 5 to 10 player in college football. There's no doubt in my mind. Offensive line has to be better. The run game has to be better. A lot of people called the defense a year ago mid. I disagree. I think the defense was really, really good. There were flaws. The secondary did some stupid things, but you also had an offense that literally couldn't move the ball for large stretches of last year. If the offense can move the ball, it takes so much pressure off the defense. The defense will play better. Then moving on to the bad tier. Auburn. I think Alex Golesh was the best head coaching hire of last year's cycle. Better than Summerall. Better than guys like Eric Morris. Honestly, up there with guys like Lane Kiffin and James Franklin. I just think it's too early. Byron Brown kind of gives you that feel of if everything goes right, maybe. But I don't want to put him in sleepers. I can't have every, sexy logo in the SEC be put in sleepers just because their logo is sexy. I certainly think Auburn is worse right now than the teams that I put ahead of them because I just don't know if the skill positions are there. Now, if you return guys like Eric Singleton, if you return guys like Cam Coleman, if you return guys on the defensive line that you had a season ago, we'd be having a completely different conversation. There's no question. Because then I love the scheme so much. I love the defensive coordinator. And could it all come together? Maybe. But I think it would truly have to all come together. You would have to look, if you want to make the college football playoffs or compete for a national championship, you need Cam Newton in the flesh back there right now. And I'm not saying Byron Brown can't be that, but what I'm saying is the odds that he is that is probably sub 5%. And then for Missouri, you had him in your top 25. Why do you put him in the bad tier? Here's why. Because that schedule is god-awful. And these are very much where I think you will finish the season. I don't know if I said that at the beginning of the video. Probably didn't. These tier lists are where I think you will finish. Missouri plays 5 or 6 teams inside of my top 15. Missouri cannot beat those type of quality of teams. They can't do it. They've made a killing off of beating bad Auburn, bad Florida, bad Kentucky, bad Mississippi State, bad Vanderbilt, and bad Arkansas teams. That's what Missouri's been sensational at. Eli Drinkwitz against a sub-500 SEC team is, warm butter on bread. It's beautiful. It truly is majestic. You just got the worst draw in the world in terms of scheduling. It's why you are in bad. It's not because I don't think your team's fairly solid. If you play just the sleeper tier, Auburn and ugly, you would probably be in sleeper. But you don't. And it's going to be a long year because of that. And then in the ugly, Kentucky, Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, Arkansas. We'll start off with, in my opinion, the worst team in the conference, in Arkansas. Your team was more talented a year ago. You had great quarterback play a year ago. Mike Washington was electric. Your defense couldn't stop molasses in December, and that was the problem. Defense was terrible. It doesn't take me to tell you that. You used your own eyes, and you saw that. I don't think the defense gets substantially better. I don't think the offense is near as talented as they were a season ago. Although, maybe KJ Jackson could end up being pretty good, but I don't think he is what he was, or is what they had last year. Excuse me. And then Vanderbilt, you lost so much. And don't get me wrong, Jared Curtis is going to be good in the future. He's a 5-star kid. He's a great quarterback. Not right now. I don't love starting freshmen in the SEC or starting first-year guys in the SEC. It's the reason why Florida's as low as they are. It's the reason why Tennessee's where they are. Vanderbilt, I don't think has as talented of a team a year ago, and I don't think they'll be able to make up for that. Then Mississippi State, same kind of story. Kamario Taylor. In fact, all 4 of them, all starting first-year quarterbacks. You look at Kamario Taylor. Yes, he played some games last year. That's sick. The congruency's not there. The team's not incredibly talented. I got a cowbell behind me. I've been to Starksville. It's an amazing place to watch a game. They are not going to be good. They just aren't. Now, will Kamario Taylor get one of these teams, maybe a contender or even sleeper next year? I fully believe they could do that. Same way they almost watched Arkansas, sneak up and beat Texas A&M a season ago just because of how elite that quarterback play was. I could see that happening for Mississippi State next year, but wire to wire, they're not going to look like an incredible team. And then Kentucky. A lot of people tell me, well, look at the transfer portal hall. It's nice. Offensive line's elite. There's really no mind that I don't think on that offensive line won't be great. My biggest worry is the skill positions are way too injury prone. There's so much inexperience on that roster. Kenny Minchie's a first-year quarterback, which I hate in this conference. And then, there's going to be flaws for Will Stein in terms of he's never been a head coach before. And it's the same thing with Summerall. It's the same thing with Alex Golish and same thing with Silverfield. It's they're going to learn some things this year. None of them have rosters that first-year coach LSU has or first-year coach Pete Golding has. They don't have those quality rosters. They also don't have those quality of expectations. And I think we're going to, see that in terms of kind of exactly how this year plays out. But that is my SEC tier list. Let me know what y'all